Hey friends. So, I was sitting in meditation this morning. This is when all my ideas come to me. And I was just kind of tuning into my body. And I felt, as some of us may have experienced, I noticed when I was getting pulled into a kind of habitual thought addiction, thought loop. And then, as soon as I became conscious of that, I would be able to sort of come back to awareness. And one thing I noticed in the body as I was doing this, again, not purposely going into, the thought loop, but just kind of finding myself, I was a little tired, so I found myself falling into it a little more than usual. And one thing I noticed is tension is habitual. Does that make sense? Tension, any tension in our body is habitual. Any tension in our mind is habitual, right? Tension is, I'm going to say always. Can't back this up with scientific evidence, but I'm just going to go ahead and make a declaration. Tension is always habitual because tension is residual effort or residual sort of like intention and strategy that from the past, that we at some point have implemented or tried to implement to help us get through something. Tension is habitual. And so the way this manifested in my meditation is I'm sitting, right? I'm awake, I'm aware, my spine is straight, my body's open, upright. Then I start thinking. And little by little, I start leaning forward. My body just starts collapsing. And that's what was happening when I was unconscious, right? Which is, you'd think that it almost feels like it should be the opposite. It feels like when we're doing the work, I'm being conscious. That's when I would think my body would feel the brunt. But it's the exact opposite is true. It's when I go unconscious that I start to feel the brunt. It's when I'm actually tuning out that I start to go unconscious. As soon as I would kind of wake back up, come back to presence, boom, my spine would straighten, my neck would straighten, and I'd feel my whole system bearing weight and bearing my own psychology much more lightly, much more easily, just effortlessly. So it struck me. Tension is habitual. Freedom is conscious. My two favorite new opposites are habit and consciousness, habitual and conscious. Those are maybe the two incredibly significant. I'm not going to say the most significant. I've made enough unverified statements for one video post. Habitual and conscious are two of the most important opposites, a set of the most important opposites that we could possibly consider. Because it kind of all comes down to whether we are operating automatically, compulsively, or consciously. Maybe that's a better dichotomy, compulsive and conscious, because it's got alliteration. Compulsiveness, consciousness. Those are the big headline. That's the big headline polarity of the day, for sure. So that's what showed up. Compulsive versus conscious. I got there. Figured out what the universe is trying to give me. But it's worth noting that anytime there's tension in our body, in our mind, we can ask the question. Well, we can first of all know that it's habitual, that it's compulsive. And then ask the question, what's causing this? Right? Where is this tension coming from? What habit am I in that is creating this tension? Because consciousness is inherently always in liberation. It's always free. Consciousness is free. It's the nature of consciousness. So consciousness as applied to a particular kind of tension has the effect of dissolving it, the effect of gradually, maybe not instantaneously, if you're lucky it's instantaneous, but gradually resolving it. I don't know if you're hearing the leaf blower over here. But if we're kind of aware of that, and we kind of know, oh, tension, habit, I can come out of habit. All I need to do is wake up. It gives us a way of accessing and engaging with it that's always effective. This is hilarious. The leaf blowers always seem to know how to find me when I'm doing my video post. Anyway, that's what I got today, folks. Thank you. Appreciate you. Have a lovely day. I'll see you tomorrow.